Welcome to the Kingdom First Solutions Assignments Forms demo. We're going to go through a setup that would allow you to use custom forms to gather information that will kick off an assignment, and part of that assignment is to then make a decision based on the values in that form as to what next assignment to kick off. So as I mentioned, custom forms is kind of how all this begins. I'm going to briefly go over each of the pieces on the backside that we have to set up, and then we'll look at the whole setup in action. So we're going to start with the form templates, and I have a assignment demo form template, and it's got 4 fields on it. I went ahead and used the name and email address so that we can get a synchronization on the person. And then I asked a very simple question, favorite color. Now this obviously could be anything you want it to be, but for the purposes of this demo, we're just going to be testing the color and then kicking off an assignment based on that color. In order to use the form, we have to create a form from the template. So that's the template. And then we're going to come over here to the form, and you'll see that there is the assignment demo form based on the assignment demo form template. So now that we've got our custom form set up, we have to put our custom form somewhere. So I'm going to navigate over here to the pages area because that's where we make use of this. And under pages, we're going to just use the members responsive area. And I've already set up a page that has this on it, and it's that form assignments demo. Just in members responsive, this will custom form entry, which is the module that we're using, will work with any Bootstrap 3 compliant template. So if you've got a members responsive clone or something built by KFS, it should look just fine inside there. So the setup here for the form entry, there are a number of settings here. Some of them don't matter tremendously. Others do, but so like a cancel page, I've just gone ahead and stuck it back to the home page, redirect page back to the home page. You'd probably want to make them land on a page that has some custom content on it to help them understand that they've successfully sent their form and all of that good stuff. Address settings. So as you implement a custom form, you can configure for international addresses at the form entry level. That's right here. Then the section that we really do care about for the purposes of this demo, which is the assignment settings. So we're going to allow multiple assignments to come from this form, and that's the typical configuration. If you've got a public form out there and you want assignments to be generated from that, the idea is that you would actually have the ability to fill that form out more than once. So this basically says allow multiple assignments. So every time they fill out the form, it creates a new assignment. Process immediately. You can set this to false, and then it will pick up based on the agent running, and it'll see it that there is an assignment that needs to be generated, and it will generate that assignment. For this demo, I've gone ahead and set it to true. The assignment title, I'm just going with the default, which is the title of the form instance. The assignment type. So here I have to tell it which assignment type that I'm targeting. So let's take a quick detour over to the assignment types to take a peek at how all that's set up. So I've set up 4 assignment types in here. This is basically I've got a handler, and then I've got, based on the decision in the handler, it's going to start an assignment in either red, green, or blue, which are the 3 options for the favorite color. Those of you who like yellow, I'm sorry, didn't make the demo. Okay, so we're going to go inside of here, and each of the decision steps in here are actually managed by hitting Edit Details, and then you're going to look at the worker settings, the workflow states, and the settings of these workflows. However, before we can do any of that, we have to set up some custom fields in order to handle all this. So I've gone ahead and set up favorite color. I created a person attribute as well. We're not actually using that, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that so we don't have to look at it. And then the form instance ID. And the form instance ID is important because this will actually track the form instance, the ID of that form instance, the specific instance that person filled out that kicked off this particular form handler. So those 2 are really important. Since I'm making a decision on this one, I need to have it come through. And since I want to know what I've made a decision about, I need to track that form instance ID. So now we get over to our workflow states on this handler. So the handler is going to just look at the incoming form submission. It's going to set the fields on the assignment and then make some decisions and then close. So there's only one that's going to increment the state because all these other things are going to increment their own states and ultimately end up closed. So we're going to start at the handle incoming form data, and there's just one action inside here, and it's the KFS forms set assignment field. This is going to set us up to be able to make a decision in the next steps. So here I've picked the form, which is that assignment demo form that we just looked at. I have told it that I want the form instance assignment field to go into the form instance ID, and then the form item assignment field. So what field am I setting is this favorite color, and then the form item ID, which is a number. The way you get this number is a little tricky. So what you're going to do is you're going to come back over here. Oop, not to that one. That's our page. We'll go over here and we'll use this one. So we're going to come back over to our form template. And remember, we're using that assignment demo form. And if we click into this, we initially get to the builder where we can add fields, but then there's this preview form. And if we preview this form, you're going to notice this bracketed number next to every field. Well, that number is the ID, the system ID of that particular field for this particular form. And that's what we have to plug in over here in order to tie that field over to favorite color. So once I've got that tied up, now when this runs, it's going to record that favorite color. So then we have the form item ignore. I do need to set this to false because if there's a value coming through, I don't really care, like a value that was set on the assignment prior, I don't care. I want to overwrite it with this. So ignore true, I would ignore the incoming value, meaning not save it. False, I want that incoming value not to be ignored. I want it to be stored into the assignment. And then there's a person field, but I'm just leaving it blank because that'll get set as the requester on this particular assignment. Okay, so that's the first step, set the fields. Second step, we're going to test those form values. So there are 3 individual workers, and they're each going to test that field, favorite color, for a specific value, and then start another state if that value is present. So we have one for red, one for green, and one for blue. Obviously, if you've got more selection options, you have to duplicate this for those values. But what that's going to do is kick off this state of start blue. Now you do not want to auto increment here because you're actually using this step to increment that to that next state. Okay, so then we can look at what happens inside of start red, and start green and start blue are all roughly identical to this. They're just their own things in order to manage this, and they have to target that. So now we're going to use a start assignment, and this is unique to each one of these. So red is going to start the red assignment, green is going to start the green assignment, blue is going to start the blue assignment. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the KFS action called start assignment. I'm just going to pass through the source description and the source title. Those merge fields are detailed over here. I am now going to kick off an assignment in the assignment type of red. Since this is red, I'm bringing red through. I'm going to go ahead and copy the custom field values. If I have the custom fields on this assignment that started, then they will copy across. For this demo, I didn't do that because I've already made the decision I need to make about favorite color. And then I'm just passing through the rest of this, and I'm not setting an assignment workflow or the assignment worker or the assignment workflow. So green and blue are the same. They're just green's targeting green, blue's targeting blue. Oh, I didn't cover the last set in there, which was increment the state. So this is just Arena's action of what do I do after I've done this, and I just want it to mark to closed. Because the handler doesn't need any human interaction. It just needs to do this processing and then set that assignment to closed. So that's how the handler is going to work. Let's go take a peek now at those other assignment types to see exactly what they do. They're just going to hang open essentially. The idea here would be you'd have workers assigned, and you might follow a standard arena assignment process where you might have workers that get assigned to this specific assignment as it comes in, and then they have to follow whatever process you determine inside of here. So if we look at the states available in here, there's just assign worker, open, closed. It's going to hang on open after we fill this out. So those are the pieces. We're going to hop back over here because we were still looking at the details of the assignment type. So that's the assignment type we're going to hit, is that handler. And then the handler is going to make the decision, is this red, green, or blue? I'm not going to set a specific due date or anything else because I don't have those fields on my form, but they would be available. The update assignment from form, you can set this to true. In this case, I have it set to false because it's going to be multiple. I'm not trying to update an assignment. I'm creating a new one every time. And then there are all of the forms base settings, like adding to tag, which form am I going to display, which is the assignment demo form. And the rest of that we cover in more detail in other videos related specifically to forms. So that is there. So now let's go ahead and jump out, and we're going to take a peek at the actual form out here. So that's going to be on my page 3960. And I'm going to fill out a first name, last name, and email address for somebody that I know is in the system. So I'm actually going to use my details here. And my favorite color is blue. So I'm going to go ahead and submit on that for blue. And what we should see happen after this finishes submitting is we should be able to come back into here on the assignment types. And we should be able to see well, there's the one in blue. And we can see that there's one out here in the form handler, but it is not active. So let's go take a peek at the form handler really quickly just to see the inactive ones. So I'm going to look for the inactive assignments, and there is that one inactive. And I can jump inside of this guy, and I can look and see that the favorite color was blue. The form instance ID was set as 104. And then you can actually see what happened in here as it went through. So we assigned the values. We changed the state from handle incoming form data to test form values. Then the state changed from test form values to start blue. From start blue to closed, active went from true to false and closed. So that was what happened with this assignment type. Then we can go look at what happened with blue, and this is where the assignment is still open and active. You can see the requester came through. This particular assignment isn't using a form because it was kicked off by another assignment. Because I don't have the custom fields, it didn't come through there, but I have all of the details of the person who initially submitted it, and then if I had additional states, it would work there. So let's just walk through that one more time. We're going to use some different data this time just to kick off into a different form. So let's go for our favorite test values. And his favorite color is going to be green. Now I expect that this is going to create a new record in my database because I don't believe that I have that one. But you know what? Let's just go find out real fast here. No, I do. I have Testy Testerton. And he's Testy at testerton.com. But see, I used Testy at spam.com. So this should create a duplicate, or it should create another Testy Testerton based on the values that I see in my database. So we're going to go ahead and submit that. And we're going to then go take a look at the backside, and we're going to see, we're going to go ahead and just run this search again because we should end up with two Testy Testertons, and we do. We now have this guy and this guy. They're both called Testy Testerton, but because their emails were different, we created a brand new person. If I come over here and I look at the assignment types, I should now see that there are two that have processed through here, and I now have one in green, and that should be tied to Mr. Testy Testerton with the email address of testy@spam.com. So that pretty much covers it. I know this is a very light example and not a specific one to a specific church use case, but I hope that this shows the way that you could accomplish using forms to kick off an assignment that then kicks off another assignment. If you have any questions, reach out to us at kingdomfirstsolutions.com. We have lots of modules that are available with our Arena All Access subscription. If you're interested in that, reach out to us at sales@kingdomfirstsolutions.com. If you're already an All Access subscriber and you'd like to get a little bit of help with one of these things, or something's not working the way you want it to, you can reach out to us at support@kingdomfirstsolutions.com, and we will see what we can do to help you. And obviously, if you need help configuring a complex workflow like that, we can help you out there too. We would do that through a billable call. And again, reach out to sales@kingdomfirstsolutions.com for that option. Thank you for the time you've spent with us today. We look forward to helping your church accomplish the goals that it has for their church management system, and we will talk to you soon.